Now, we have several stories from our business desk tonight. AMD acquires chipmaker Xilinx. Tiffany and LVMH are once again in merger talks, and N95 mask maker 3M sees a huge sales growth.
Good evening. U.S. markets have closed for the day. Here are your business headlines. Mergers and acquisitions continue to be the talk of the town, as companies struggling during the pandemic are being eyed for buyouts. One sector that has seen a lot of action is the semiconductor industry. After GPU maker NVIDIA purchased chipmaker ARM for a staggering $40 billion last month, rival AMD announced today a major acquisition of its own, striking a deal to buy computer chipmaker Xilinx for $35 billion. In a statement, AMD touted that the combination will create the industry's leading high-performance computing company, significantly expanding the breadth of AMD's product portfolio and customer set across diverse growth markets where Xilinx is an established leader. AMD has seen explosive growth in recent years as both its CPU and GPU product lines have been embraced by users as high-quality alternatives to products offered by Intel and NVIDIA. In merger news, Tiffany and Louis Vuitton owner LVMH are once again in talks in hopes of finalizing a merger that has been in dispute since the start of the pandemic. The central issue has been Tiffany's acquisition share price of $135, which LVMH sees as too high given the hit to the luxury retail business caused by the economic downturn. CNBC reports that LVMH is willing to restart merger talks if Tiffany is willing to drop its share price to somewhere between $130 to $133 a share. Luxury retail has been one of the worst hit sectors during the pandemic, with Tiffany experiencing a decrease of 44% in same-store sales from 2019. While industries like retail and travel have been struggling, manufacturing companies with products in high demand to fight the pandemic continue to see strong business. One such company is U.S. manufacturer 3M, who announced today strong quarterly earnings due to continued high demand for their personal protective equipment. The company reported $235 million in sales, higher than last year of its PPE masks, which include the highly sought-out N95. The company has sold $1.4 billion of the masks so far this year, with an expected $2 billion sold by the end of 2020. 3M said it would be able to keep up with demand and produce 2.4 billion N95 masks annually by the end of 2020. In other earnings news, Microsoft today announced better than expected results for its most recent quarterly earnings, with its Azure cloud computing service bringing in higher than expected revenue. Pharmaceutical company Pfizer also announced slightly better than expected third quarter earnings, but sales of its medications and vaccines were below expectations, with the company attributing it to patients making less frequent visits to the doctor outside of coronavirus-related emergencies. U.S. indices finished mixed as investors continue to monitor rising COVID-19 infection levels. Reporting from New York, this is Bobby Soriano, Eagle News. We live in interesting times.